Good night, ladies and gentlemen. I have one question. In fact, it's good morning because it's like 4 something in the morning. I have one question. How could a mother say they love their son or daughter, right? And they don't care where they getting their teens from or their money from, and knowing that their children are unemployed and they are not providing that money, nor is their father. I say that to say this because sometimes that could lead straight to prison. So how you can love your child when you costing them? Yeah, you're a part of the problem because why you costing them is because you're not doing anything about it. As long as they could give you the money, as long as they could give you the teens, you happy in heaven. You happy. You don't care where they get it from. You don't care how they went about to get it. You don't question. Sometimes even when you do question, for those who does, the children don't tell you because they know they're getting things scrupulously. They're not getting it the right way, okay, or the honorable way. Let's put it that way, because they mightn't be doing nothing illegal, but they're just not getting things in an honorable way. So how could you say you love your child when you actually when you're accepting these things because you just only want to live? And some of y'all living for foolishness, doing foolishness. Y'all got me. I ain't stuttering. Y'all want hair do, nail do, and the cupboard empty. Something wrong with y'all thinking. Then y'all blame everybody except yourself. And then you don't care where this money coming from. And you know, because of the crowd your child running with, you know, okay, that they are doing illegal stuff. And if you know your child running with these people doing illegal stuff, I feel if you love your child, what you think a good parent would do? Step in. And yeah, you talk sometimes till you're weak. So guess what? That's why they have other ways to dealing with it. When the child, because it's too much single parent home. So when the mother talk a lot of times, especially with these sons, they mind, nah, they ain't checking for you. So they have avenues. Maybe you need to find a mentor or someone to stop him or to talk to him. Or maybe you need to call in the police yourself. That will teach him a lesson. You ever thought of that? I've known many mothers who have called the police in on their own children. Why they would do something like that? Because, some at the end of the day, it's the right thing to do. Sometimes they save their children from a life of grief. Sometimes they save their children from a life of grief. Right then and there, the situation might be hard. But in years to come, when the child look back, they realize their parent had to go to that extreme to get them in line, to get them doing the right things. Hello, somebody. And a lot of y'all mothers, we are the rulers when you look at it. We are the child bearers. No human on this earth can come via nowhere else but through the mother. It have to. Yeah, it's doing test tube and this and that, but it still have to come to the mother and they need the egg. Hello. Yeah. Okay. So my point too is we have a really, really serious role to play. Okay? A role that should not be joked with. When you see your children keeping the wrong company, you can tell from now to Jabim for them keeping the wrong company. I know it. No, I'm not speaking from, because I had children who listened and tried to do, but I'm speaking from having to deal with a lot of people who went through the same things. Okay? But when you get tired speaking, and that's time to reach out to some type of authority, to step in to save your child, to save your child. You understand me? You could save your children. In some parts of the United States, yeah, I go in there. Um, the areas become so bad for a young man, sometimes even for young ladies to be in. Their parents literally sell everything out and leave and go to a whole nother state where they perceive is better for the child. And sometimes they live a little poorer, but it's the point of saving their children from that downfall. It's hard to pick up somebody when they totally fall. It's not easy. Okay? But the best thing to do is avoid that fall before it actually happens. We have too many young men walking these streets with mental issues. We have too much of them. Okay? We have too much of them. And no one, yeah, people paying attention, but you can't do everything. You gotta leave some things for some other people to do. Can't be no hero. A human only could do so much. But some families just play like they don't care. I remember having a serious conversation with a family member of mine who was on the street. This person was on the street, mentally challenged for 30 years almost. And you know something? It was a family member of mine that was murdered. Yes, I work in crime, but I had a close family member of mine that was murdered. But see, the lifestyle they was living and caught up in those things were going on, that's what usually leads to, I'm sorry to say it, but anything can happen at any time, but you could make your life to avoid certain things as best as possible. But if you're running with a certain type crowd, regardless of you is male or female, the end result is always basically the same, no matter which country you go to, when you're running with the wrong type crowds. Okay? So during the funeral, back to the story, during the funeral of that family member, I stepped it outside because the person who was talking at the time, even though they were supposed to be a pastor, I had a little torment in my heart because of the things that I've seen them done. And I didn't want to sit there. I walked out. Yeah, I've seen them done. The things I personally have seen them done. And because of what I witnessed and I've seen them done, not to me, to other people, I've seen with my two eyes. And the way I see them act towards people, not once, not twice, with my own eyes. When this person was speaking, I walk out. I don't want to be in it. Yeah, that's how I work. I don't make no noise. I just don't try to not be around you. And as I was walking, because it was coming to the end of the funeral, this particular cousin of mine who'd been on the road for many years, they were just coming, and it was almost ending for the funeral to end. I was actually the only one outside. But when I saw them coming, I stayed outside. I was about to go and I stayed outside. And when they reached, I didn't wait for them to say hello. I say, hello, you just reached. But the tongue lashing that I give this person and the things that I told this person, all of a sudden this person was able to respond to me when they couldn't respond to me for many years prior, you know. And with them responding to me, I continued with the train I was on and getting them to further respond. I feel that was a turning point in that person's life for what I told that person. And from that day to this, that person was no more on the street. No more acting crazy, acting like they ain't had no sense. With me giving that person a stern tongue lashing and forcing that person to look me in the eye while I was telling them what I had to tell them, and letting them understand their duty as a male in the family, and letting them understand how they have let down the women of their family, and making them understand that when the man lets down the women of their family, because you don't need to have a brother, you don't need to have a sister, you know, male in the family are the protectors of the women and children of that family, whether your uncle, cousin, whatever. You are the protectors. Once that's your female and young children, that's what male are in the family, the protectors of that family. Okay? But when you don't know your role, it's a serious thing. And I had to give this lecture to this person outside this church. I never ever went back into the funeral because I was still lecturing this person when the funeral was out and people started coming out. After people started coming out, you know, I didn't want to know what I was saying to the person, even though I was sternly speaking to this person. I leave it like that because that was between me and this person, okay? But the tongue lashing that I give, I feel I made an indelible difference in this person's life at that time. I made them, while talking to them, respond to me. I made them look at me. I made them understand what I was trying to say. And at the end of the day, this person been cleaning up their act, never was on the street from there, changed their life. I used to, when I see them, I give them a couple of dollars. I mean, I ever used to do it. Even when they're on the street. I go look for them just to give them a couple of dollars, knowing they were on the street. No, I wasn't taking them in my home because my home is my sanctuary. My home is my sanctuary where my peace is. And peace will remain in my home because I will bring nothing negative into it, regardless of who they are. Okay? Let's get that straight. And yes, I do not have no money. So I can't help you to get no police here, no place there. Hello, somebody. Like I said in some of my videos, I'm the poor widow. Hello. So we ain't even going there. But the person has turned their life around. And when I saw the person like a couple months later, they call out to me. When they call out to me and I start talking to them, I realized that speech that I give this person had such an effect to the point, and making that person look me in the eye and responding has caused that person to change their whole life around. It might not happen for everybody, but too much of our young men are on the streets playing crazy, and they ain't crazy because the opportunity comes, they do some scrupulous things. I know for a fact because I work in the system, I seen it happen, okay? Seeing it happen, they do some scrupulous things. So for me, how I feel, they're challenged a little bit mentally, but they know just what they be doing. They know just what they be doing. and using that mentality or mental illness to get by with the hope that they could to get to do what they want to do and nobody will pay attention or get by. And I feel a lot of mothers has been letting down a lot of children. I feel a lot of mothers have been letting down a lot of children. How could you say you love your children and you accepting gifts knowing they are unemployed, knowing they're getting it the wrong way, know that they are doing illegal things to get these things. And then when they get locked up, you blast the police. You blame everybody except you, the parent, who should have stepped in. You don't stop mothering at 18. You don't stop mothering when they turn 16. You don't stop mothering even if they turn 40. You don't stop mothering unless they turn 50. As long as you are a mother, you are a mother for life. And that means if your children are 50, if they're 70, and they need you as a mother, you're supposed to be there. Yeah, we ain't dealing with the fathers. We didn't know the story of the fathers. We knew the stories of the fathers. So we ain't dealing with the fathers. You understand? We can make the difference whether the father there or not. We can make the difference whether the father there or not. When you need help, it's ways to reach out to plenty police station, offer help. Okay? Plenty places offer help. But some of y'all don't want to know what's going on, so you wipe your mouth and pretend you ain't seeing nothing, and tell your child is in the policeman hand, and then you do call the police everything other than a child of God. You blame everybody, every politician. You blame everybody. You blame the government. You blame the teacher. You blame this one. You blame that one. Except that you as the mother could have you saw the route your child was going on and you did not step in. If the father ain't around, how he can know what route the son going on? We can't no longer keep pointing our hands at the father. We are losing our children. We are losing our children. We can no longer do that. Okay? We need to stop. I mean, I'm not pointing fingers now, but we need to stop pointing fingers at fathers. I'm trying to get y'all to wake up to see that a lot of us as mothers are to blame for what's going on with our kids. You can't be dressed up out there pretty up and plenty days you ain't even home. You ain't know where your children is. No wonder some of them running the streets. We got to stop this children going to prison. We got to stop these children acting out all about. And we need to get back to the ground like how we used to be, the basics. When you could see a child personality from when they're small, cut their tail. Yeah, cut it, don't change them. It don't. This is the Bahamas, we in the United States where you cut your children tail, they call the police and get locked up. No, this is the Bahamas. We cut your tail, and the police has cut your tail too. If you call them to help you cut your tail, okay? This is the Bahamas. We need to stop our children because it's like a plantation move. We need to stop our children from going to prison. We need to stop our children from running loose and running wild and doing the wrong things. Make them understand that as long as they get a roof over their head, food in their stomach, a little clothes on their back, they don't need no name brand. Unemployed, they could, until they can get a little employment somewhere, work one little 2 jobs, don't care what it is, how small it is, as long as it's honest, and satisfied with whatever they could get. This is a terrible country. Every time a job opening, you have what? Thousands of people for one job. Some people just give up and stop showing up because they done been up and up and up and up. You understand me? So we need to stop pretending. That's the problem there. We need to stop pretending. Stop coming to church. I know too much of you know. With a big hat, your nice clothes, and you can tell where your child sleep the night before. You can tell, you know that you're running in the wrong crowd. You know they doing illegal things and you using the money to live high and you don't care. You closing a blind eye. You are part of the problem when you do that. You are part of the problem when you do that. When you can accept illegal, ill-gotten gains, you are part of the problem. Instead of being a part of the problem, it's now time for you to stop it. Stop it and be a part of the solution. Okay? Over and out.